first submission that we learned from the introductory course and the close guard course, which is the Americana, right? Where I get the arm to the side, elbow in the ear. I have monkey grip, not C grip, so I'm not reaching around his wrist. I'm completely covering his wrist with my thumb joints to my fingers. I'm going to sneaky snake underneath, cover my own wristwatch, reverse motorcycle grip to help pull out his shoulder, and then finish that. I tell the kids that I pretend like the fingers are a paintbrush, and I'm trying to paint the mat and lift the elbow, just like this. So we're creating torque on the shoulder by twisting it. What I also like to do with that reverse motorcycle grip is it pulls the shoulder out of the socket and then twists. So I create tension on the joints and then snap the joints. So as I get here, elbow in the ear, trying to create tension right here. The more tension we have, the better. So elbow in the ear, covering the wristwatch, sneaky snake, covering my own wristwatch, reverse motorcycle grip. You see how it takes that shoulder just outside the socket, and then I finish that submission. So when we're in no-gi, the first submission I want you to start to learn and go for is Americana, okay? And remember, he's gonna be tight in here, so there's no way I'm gonna be able to isolate this unless I have some tools to my advantage. So there's a couple different ways we can do this. The first one I teach is where I stiffen up my upper body, and so I use my entire body to isolate that arm. So I straighten my arms, and now it's my entire body, weight and pressure, pushing that arm down. All right, if I'm right here, I'm just trying to use my muscle, there's no way I'm gonna get that. I wanna use the mechanics of my entire body onto one limb, and now I'm isolating. So look, his legs are out of the picture. All right, his hips are out of the picture, and now the majority of my body has isolated just one joint. And that joint, I'm going to use the strength of my shoulders and my biceps here to start twisting that joint in the direction it doesn't want to go to get that submission. So slowly isolating up, passing the legs, passing the hips, isolating the shoulder, twisting it. Okay, another thing that we can do if we're just not strong enough here is maybe I can use my entire body mechanics as he's hiding. He's doing a good job right here, like the Home Alone, right? And I can get underneath here where I isolate this arm, and now I'm going to use my entire body to move this down and start isolating, right? So you find your own creative way to do that. Now I'm going to also show you a little trick here, okay? Boom, I get this down. As I start to lean my chest over, notice that most of my body weight is no longer on Chaffee, okay? So one thing that I can do is as I start to lean over is I can move my hips over on the other side. So now I have a ton of body weight on him, and I'm still like 50-50. 50% of my body weight's over here, 50% of my body weight is over on the other side, making it much harder for him to bump and roll me, okay? So I kind of pinch his hips together between my knees and my calf here. I sneaky snake under. Boom. Okay, so now let's show it from this angle. So, first submission I like to go for. First submission I like to go for when I have mount is the Americana, right? I'm trying to isolate the arm, elbow in the ear, shift my weight, sneaky snake under, cover my wristwatch, reverse motorcycle grip, and then paint the mat until his shoulder comes out. Now, if I didn't reverse motorcycle grip up our chest to get here, you see how far he can go? He's got flexible shoulders. But if I get here, torque his neck, reverse motorcycle grip, and twist, you see how fast I get it? And it's those little details that help you go from being a white belt to like a purple belt. You need to start finding those little details. But remember that the universal learning approach, those lines that I showed you, that's that full verse, I don't fill in the details over time. Don't worry about getting every single step down, all right? If there's little details in here and you may miss it the first few times, that's fine. Did you get the submission? Good. If you got the submission, you did a good Americana. Now, can we optimize and perfect it? Absolutely. And those details in the middle are gonna be what's gonna help us the most with that. But for now, twist the shoulder. If you twist it enough, it's gonna pop out. We just find these little details to make us most efficient in how we break it. So isolate here, and maybe I do it just really sloppy. See, I still got the submission, okay? But I wanna optimize. So I get here, lock this in, switch the hip, reverse motorcycle grip, and twist. So if you miss some details, totally fine. Just try to make it better over time as we continue to advance our jiu-jitsu. Okay, so that's the first submission I like to do, and you can do it in regular mount. Now, if I were to go to something like one of these lower mounts right here, our grapevine, it's actually going to be a lot harder because now I don't have a good base, and for him to like roll me over, it's going to be really easy for him. So I don't opt for that. Like I said, I don't really go for attacks here. What I do is I just stabilize. Maybe I just need to cook him for a little bit and just make his life miserable. Then I'll be in a grapevine where I'm spreading his legs, or I'll get to here on this lower mount right here and just push my hips into his hips. Okay, so that might be the case. But once I get to regular mount or high mount, that's usually where I'm attacking from. Okay, so Americana is my first one. Now, the next one I'm going to do is our S-mount armbar.